Hello, this is one of my favorite cars. It's very fast and it's very cheap, and it can go on the sand, in the mud, and it's not afraid of water, and it's been tested, and I can confirm that this car runs really well. Has really nice remote control, and it has a four-wheel drive. And now I'll show you what it's like and why it's so fast. So actually, when I bought it, it ran with this battery. It runs on 7.4 volts, and it had only 500 milliamperes per hour, so it would run out in 15 minutes. It was still really fast, it is still powerful, but it did not have enough power that I wanted actually. You know that for these cars you need batteries that can allow very high current. For example, I experimented with this car and tried to apply different batteries. One of the batteries that I tried to use was this lithium battery. They have different categories, and some of them say that they have very high current, but these batteries do not allow actually very high current. Even if the seller says that, do not believe that, because it gets really hot when you use this in this kind of cars, because the electrical motor in this car is very powerful and it draws a lot of current. This battery just does not allow that, and overheats quickly. And what I did with this car was actually to put two batteries into it with these battery cases, and when I ran this car with these batteries, what it did was it overheated the battery casing, and it just melted this wire connection, and the wires also got burned. These wires are also very thin, you cannot use it with that. Now when I open the car, you will understand why it's so. Let me show you the inside of this car. Let me turn it off. So it turns off with this button here, and the body is fitted like all these fancy cars with this metal wires, which actually get lost with time. There's so much vibration on this car that they just fly away sometimes, and I have to replace them. Some of them got stuck, some of them got rust on it already. You can see the spoiler has gone on this car, because this car went through very hard testing. So this is the body of the car, the top body of the car. Very nice, with nice design, nice colors. You can buy them in different colors. It's pretty hard, although it's very flexible, and that's not why it's not breaking. This car flew around 3 meters high in skateboard parks, and it fell on its roof, and nothing happened to this car. So this casing is flexible and resistant. So you can see a lot of dust in this car. What you can see here is the electrical motor. It has a hole in it, a ventilation hole in it, but if you run this car in sand and in mud, you should put something on it so that nothing runs into this electrical motor, because otherwise it will destroy the internal mechanism and it will not run. I thought it would overheat this motor if I close this hole, but it didn't. It's been running for a long time already. And here you can see that the wires are pretty strong and thick, So you now can understand why these wires wouldn't work. Don't try this. I changed the battery. You see it's so big that it doesn't fit in its original battery space compartment. Its original battery is here, and the battery I fit in was this one. So I used some imagination to make this battery stay in its place and not fly away. And also I had to adapt new connectors to it because the original connectors didn't work. The only thing that I kept was the charging connector. The wires where charge goes in, they are all the same and standard, as you can see, and they are charged with this cable. It's a USB cable. You can fit it into any adapter. It can work with an adapter from your cell phone and an adapter from any charging mechanism that uses this type of connection. So you can see that this is a 7.4 voltage battery, same like this one, but the only difference is that it has more milliamperes. It has 2500 milliamperes. The change was tremendous. Now this car can run for an hour. It used to run 15 minutes only, and now it runs for an hour, and it's a lot of pleasure to run it for such a long time. The connectors, you can find any connector. This is the connectors I used are the regular ones that I bought from the electrical store, and you can buy them anywhere, but you need to make sure that the connection is good. Sometimes they just don't fit well to each other, don't get connected well, and as this causes a lot of vibration, it can disconnect. So you need to make sure that they are connected well, or find another better connector. This metal wires to keep the body on top of the chassis are prone to get lost or bend easily. When you lose them, you don't have to buy them, you just pick up any paper clip and you can actually put pliers, do the same thing, just do the same shape, make the same shape, and you can use them. So some of them are already been done with the metal paper clips. Now I'm trying the one with some housing so that it doesn't slide easily. In order to charge the battery, you just plug it into the wires. I'll leave the links to this battery in the description, and the link to this car also in the description. I can tell you that this car was soaked wet in a salty seawater, and it survived. I drove it on the sand along the sea. The waves were coming on it, and one wave it got caught in one wave, completely was soaked. Water got into motor compartment, into gears, everything was in salty water. First time I of course disconnected the battery with a hair dryer. I dried it, then I put some carefully put some water and this gears everywhere, and even I put some water between the radio module and the electrical motor to wipe the salt out, because salt is really bad for this. And then I dried it with hair dryer and it worked well. One important thing to remember is to apply oil to the gears, shafts, axles, just any hole in it. One of the small disadvantages of this car is that the shaft, you can see it's here and it's not protected. If the sand goes in, sometimes the sand particles get stuck between the plastic casing and the shaft, and sometimes it can't move. You have to shake the car and to shake all the sand particles out of it. You can see the stones here, the stones, but it's been working fine. So we can drive it on the water and have a lot of fun with this. The shock absorbers are not the real ones, it's just the spring, and I apply oil in it. Last time it got soaked with salty water, I forgot actually to wash it, to wash the salt out, and you can see now rust on the metal bar that connects the moving parts with the shock absorber. It's all rusty. The shaft also that goes from the electrical motor to both wheels is rusty. It's because I forgot to clean this with after it got soaked with the sea salty water. It's important to wash the car after you use that, right? And but despite everything, it's working fine. So next video I'll show you how it actually runs in real conditions. For now, as you can see, it has lights, fancy lights. It's a very nice thing to see when the car is on. And also on its remote control, you can actually adjust the angle of the steering wheels. You see it's moving. So if your steering wheels get damaged or lose correct direction, you can actually adjust it. And you can also adjust the speed, the maximum speed. So it can run slowly, or if you put this adjustment to maximum, it can run really fast. So as I said, I enjoyed this car a lot. For now, for maintenance reasons, I need to use a lot of oil in it. Maybe shock absorbers can be changed, replaced with the time, but for now the power and the speed are okay, and I'll show you in the real life conditions how it works and what kind of tricks this car can do. This is a nice car to begin with. It's cheap and you can break it, you can play with it. It's a lot of fun to play with.